puzzles.
You know, the funny thing about this is I know that this was an article that really was inspired by Frank. Frank wanted to do this this topic, and he's not here to do it.
Oh, well.
So, story versus puzzles. What's more important to the experience? I'd love to hear your comments on this below, viewing audience. But Trapdoor has always been a little more story-centric than we were puzzle-centric.
Mm.
At least up until recently. I think QRZ was the first time we really made it match, where there was so much puzzle content to go hand in hand with the story.
I mean, it's also a 2-hour game.
Right.
But, I mean, for Witch Hunt, we have, like 5 puzzles?
No, it actually still totals at 9.
9 puzzles. And, people go halfway through the game not even solving a quarter of them.
Right.
So, I mean, we've been accused of not having enough puzzles in the games, but considering the narrative, I think it's always been more important to have puzzles to justify the story and vice versa, and then just having random puzzles in the game without a narrative. Otherwise, it's just kind of... I don't really see the point in not having a narrative.
Well, the funny thing is that as a result of our narratives, I've often heard that there is a very love-hate relationship with Trapdoor. That either you absolutely love the content or it's totally not your cup of tea. And I found that even our specific experiences can differentiate people because there's a different story attached to every one of them.
Yeah.
So I almost liken it more to a movie studio where we have, content A, B, C, or D.
Yeah.
And if you're not into it, you're not into it. But if you are, you really connect with that story, then you're more passionate about the experience. But as a result, we are kind of light on puzzle content. I wonder sometimes, is that why we don't win awards?
I mean...
On the same token...
It's like... I mean, Witch Hunt has 9 puzzles. How much does QRZ have currently?
22.
22, and that's a 2-hour game. So it's almost double. Boogeyman was the highest we had up to that point.
I think Boogeyman has 12 puzzles.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know how much more puzzles we can put into a single game before it just seems overwhelming.
Well, there's companies where, like, I've seen topics online where people will say, how many puzzles should we put in a 1-hour game? And they say, 24 puzzles. In a 1-hour game, that means you are strictly solving puzzles. There is no story content.
Yeah.
There is no play. That is strictly go in and solve,
and
a lot of easy puzzles.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, those puzzles have to be really easy in order to justify that much of them.
I've walked in. I know you have not played a lot of escape rooms outside of our own stuff.
Yeah. I don't need to play them. I live them.
But I've walked into escape rooms where literally you are surrounded by 15 of the same locks in every direction.
Yeah.
And keep in mind too, our experiences are all multi-room, usually 5 rooms or more.
Yeah.
QRZ is 10 rooms. Freak Show is kind of in a similar boat. But in a 1-room game, where are you fitting 24 puzzles?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, for me, it's if the puzzle doesn't justify the story, it's no point being there. I mean, we've had to radically rewrite some of the puzzles in Quirks games. Just because once it's in the can and we start kind of going through it, we realize that puzzle B seems totally arbitrary to the story that we're telling. And I think, Theater of the Devil works really well in that every puzzle progresses the story.
The story, yeah.
Witch Hunt makes more sense plot-wise. It's more of thematic relevance than it is direct narrative relevance, but everything makes sense.
Right.
So I can't really imagine trying to pack 22 puzzles into Witch Hunt in a 1-hour game, especially now, considering how difficult the gameplay is currently, where people don't get through 3 puzzles before 30 minutes is up.
Right.
So.
Right. We actually just got joined by our favorite streaming participant, Rafi. Good day, gentlemen. Thanks for the Cure Z stream last Friday. I'm still recovering, but trying to get into. I'm still recovering from trying to get into Hobby Masters. But seriously, it was great fun. Can't wait for the next one. Thank you again for playing, Rafi. Friday's Cure Z was actually our most participated game. We actually had a few people in that one.
Oh, cool.
And it was really cool having a couple people debating puzzles in the chat room and seeing how it played through. But yeah, that was a really fun experience to play through. We were worried about the 2-hour time limit.
Yeah.
And how it would play. What was funny was that I was actually telling Mike earlier, Rafi, that stream literally ended with 10% battery left on our streaming camera. So it was like right to the limit. And Freak Show will probably be in the same boat.
Yeah.
So, but we're glad you had fun, and looking forward to entertaining you next time. Rafi actually joining in gives us a little segue topic, but TrapdoorEscapeStream.com has been completely renovated from the ground up, so that we now have. Wow, we're really popular. We now have a built-in membership platform so that we're no longer using Bookio for Escape Stream because Bookio was a little bit of a 50-step train wreck.
Yeah.
So if you have a membership with us, we are segueing memberships into the new platform today, so you will hear more from us later. By all means, you can still request times and streaming times and whatnot for later or next week or whatever. But we are on top of that to make it the most easy to use experience we could come up with. So thank you for those of you who are already participating. It's been a lot of fun. We can't wait to do more. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if Room Escape Artist is watching or if they'd like to comment, but story versus puzzles, what's more important out there? And, how do you guys feel about the, scaling of how that gets handled?
Well, I think you can do both. I don't think there's one way or the other. But
there's definitely people out there that prefer no story or that prefer a lot of story. It's really
those are the saddest people of all.
All different differentiators there, but Trapdoor I think is permanently in the story business. And
you are allowed to come upstairs if you would like.
Another new recruit coming in. As we gear up for Freak Show, we have had to expand the team. So
it's getting to the point where we should just recreate the Full House intro with all of the employees.
Yeah.
Hi, Andrew.
What's going on, Mike?
Awesome.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again.
We're live on the internet at the moment for Puzzle Talk, so feel free to listen in. But we've got probably about another 15-20 minutes to go. Izzy, Andrew, Izzy. So moving onwards to another topic we've been waiting to talk about.